Immigration is endlessly complex, unsolvable, and politically toxic. There are no good solutions and only moves from bad to worse. Or so the DC establishment would have us believe. But there are a lot of normal, common sense things that we completely overlook. If you want to solve a problem in America, the first question you should be asking: who profits from this complex mess? This maze of paperwork and bureaucracy? Anyone who hires them, from small businesses to corporations to congressmen and presidents. Anyone who gets a piece of the lobbyist money from industries that benefit from illegal labor and human trafficking. Who doesn't benefit? American workers and legal immigrants who lose out on wages, jobs, and benefits. And in many cases, even the undocumented immigrants who also get exploited for profit. The difference between an American worker's salary and an undocumented immigrant's salary, and the ability for them to hire more undocumented immigrants than citizens, is the profit margin that drives the black market in America today. It allows for many restaurants to stay open by paying their staff less. It allows for hotels to be clean and well-staffed, for construction of new houses to be sold to millionaires for profit, and for food to be grown by large faceless corporations in all states. It's the graft and the grease that runs the political establishment. That's why nobody talks about it, or makes any meaningful suggestions to change immigration, or why for decades there has been no reform, despite both Democrats and Republicans calling for it to get elected. Instead of calling for real change, we call for greater punishment of the undocumented immigrants by building bigger walls and stricter and more punishing immigration laws, as if our government could be any scarier than the ones that they are leaving without compromising our freedoms. The truth is, selling out our values to punish immigrants harder and harder will never get results. Everyone in the establishment knows this is just a distraction, a way of confusing people. The trouble is not with the supply of immigrants, it's with the demand, the giant black market that will hire them the instant they cross the border. As long as you have millions of companies and job openings, there will be people to fill them. An intentionally broke immigration system is built to take advantage of that, as being broken is what makes it profitable. There's this myth in America that's been put out there by the establishment forever, that stronger borders can positively impact undocumented immigration. It is a well-known and familiar line that anyone familiar with the data behind immigration knows is not even close to being a fact. Even if we had an imaginary wall that was 1,000 feet high and separated everyone out from our southern border and our northern border, and super strict, high-tech immigration at the airports that would cost trillions and trillions of dollars and bankrupt us, even at that extraordinary level of security, it would have almost no impact on the level of illegal or undocumented immigration to America. Why? Because most undocumented immigrants come legally through the airports and simply overstay, which means when they enter and for months to years after, there's zero ability to distinguish between legal and illegal, undocumented and documented immigrants. The only alternative to this is a giant tracking and surveillance apparatus on par with North Korea. Those already in America are not able to be subject to border conditions. That's not how borders work. They're already inside before this change takes place. Why then does the DC establishment love talking about borders so much? And love talking about border security, either for or against it, either for open borders or closed borders? Either way, on either extreme, why are they so focused on borders, even though the entire establishment knows it would have little to no impact? Why? Because it's a distraction, because it doesn't affect the profits from the black market, from the illegal labor in this country. It does not affect the money. And that's why everybody focuses on it. And if you did want to build a security apparatus to monitor all the migrants, you'd have to give more money and more power to DC. So either way, it's a win-win. If you want to actually tackle undocumented immigration and actually get real results, you would have to take on the demand side of immigration, not the supply. There's a secret that DC has known for a long time, how you can get a big impact on immigration without a border, without a fence, without more security, without more laws or rules or regulations, how you can get a huge impact. It's because every time jobs go down, immigration goes down. Every time jobs and job openings go up, immigration goes up. Think about it. The time right now after the pandemic, there's an enormous amount of open signs everywhere. There's an enormous discussion on Americans not filling up a lot of jobs. Well, guess who's filling up those jobs? Guess who the companies and businesses are calling on to come across the border to fill these jobs, to get the basic work done? By controlling the availability of jobs, you control immigration in a decentralized way. So you can just change how much it costs or how much jobs are available, and you, without any border, you can change the number of people coming in a big, big way. How do you prevent this from happening? Same pay. Same pay. If you use the existing labor laws to make companies and businesses pay undocumented immigrants the same as Americans, the entire black market collapses. Why does it collapse? Because it only exists because of the gap in pay. If there's no gap, there's no black market. That's why immigration never gets reformed. That's why every administration focuses on supply, knowing that it can make no impact. It's just for show, because they want the black market untouched. If it costs the exact same to hire an American as an undocumented migrant, why would they not hire the American? They have all these extra legal troubles and risks to their business. It makes American workers and legal immigrants way more competitive and transforms the economy. If a company or business wants to go through the hassle of hiring an undocumented worker, even with all the legal risk and all the political risk and all the social risk and also the risk to their company for having to pay back those wages later, it's because they need them. It's because there really is a shortage of jobs, or they have such a high skill that they're willing to keep them on even at a higher rate. Those are both honorable exceptions that most people would accept if there's just nobody else to do it, or if it's a rare skill. Those are already under our current immigration system acknowledged as legitimate reasons for migration. But it will get rid of the vast majority who are just simply cheaper. And it will pay them better in the meantime as they transition to American workers. Right now, undocumented immigrants are paid below the market wage, meaning the American market has no control over how low the wages can go for Americans. The bottom has been taken out of the market, and the natural mechanisms for control of wages have been removed. The market only works if there's a bottom. If that bottom is how far does the dollar go in Nicaragua or Mexico or Jamaica, then that's the true bottom, established by foreign governments and international markets that have no benefit to the American worker. You can make millions of jobs that would kill an average American trying to live on them and still be able to go lower. Why? Because they can't leverage foreign currencies. This is something you can only do if you are from another country or you have property in another country. So counterintuitively, fighting for undocumented immigrants to be paid equally for equal work and hours can actually transform the immigration system, cut way down on undocumented immigrants, and boost American wages and benefits at an extraordinary level with new jobs emerging in every town, city, and state in the country. And there's no need to oppress any minorities through the system because you are literally fighting for them to get paid more money. By living our values and being good Americans and treating everyone the same, and not believing in class, not believing in class structure or a servant class like that exists in America today because it's black market. By believing in ordinary American values, we can solve this problem with immigration. It is not impossible to fix. It is a moral problem.